Welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yahaira.
And I'm your host, Chelly. Hi, Queen.
Hi, Queen. Hi, Queens.
I know, thank you.
So, Chelly, please don't leave me in suspense.
Well, first of all, hello, everyone, to the start of our season 4 of the Book Fix. I was going to say Story and Things. Whoa. It's because you brought it up. You have it in my head. Our used to be name. I feel re-energized. I feel like I was sick this week. It's gone now. Like as soon as we started recording, it's gone. Wow. Yeah. So if I sniffle, I didn't. Okay.
That was not her, actually. That was me. I'll take the fault.
I feel so good, and I feel like with this hot book tea, this is gonna be like the start of our the start of a good season. Because I have some book tea.
Oh my God. Okay. Please tell me. I'm literally dying in the suspense.
So to preface where I heard this book tea, I follow a lot of bookstagrams on my personal Instagram. So I've been like getting a lot of content from the horror community recently. And there was a name that popped up because of something this author did. So the author's name is Matt Shaw. If you have heard that name, because I did, and I didn't realize where I had heard it, but he wrote books like Happy Ever After, The Big Blue, Evil Little Girl, I think it was called, and Rotting Dead Fucks. He's known to be an extreme horror writer, and it's like those types of writers that like kind of just write like horror porn or like what's it called? Torture porn. So like,
yeah. Okay. I don't like that genre, but okay.
Okay. So he wrote a book recently. I'm not sure which one it was, but he wrote one recently. And this one TikToker, her name is Hailz, Hailz. At least that's like her username. She basically like made a review and was like, "Hey, your book sucks," and like she tore it apart. So she didn't like it, whatever. And he like,
we've all been there, right?
Dude, he came for blood. He came for blood. Because I know that in the past there have been authors, more recently too, like talking back to the people who leave bad reviews, which is something I don't understand. And mostly because
I don't get it either.
Matt Shaw even made a tweet back in 2019 and he was like, "You guys have to have thick skin as authors. Never let them get to you. Never let them see you down, kings and queens."
Oh,
you know?
My God.
But
But not when it comes to his books.
Exactly.
He's like, "Yeah, have thick skin. You have thick skin, not me though, because my books are perfect."
So, she made a review and then he like answered back, and basically her name is Hailz, like I said, but he keeps calling her Amber for some reason in like all of like the responses, and she doesn't know why. And there's like 2 theories why he's doing this.
Oh my God. Does it have to do with one of his books? Because now I'm like freaked out.
No. So one of the theories is because he refers to all women as Amber Heard, all the women he hates. So that's...
Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? That bitch.
So that's one of the theories.
Who the fuck is this man? So I can block him.
And then her theory is... I'll call her Amber so that she can't hold me liable for anything because I'm not talking about her. So that's another reason. And she's just like, whatever. So he made a response basically saying that like women get triggered so easily. And that's why she hated the extreme horror book, because she got triggered by it. And she apparently made like a response. And the response was really long, and the way she described it is she's like, "I fucking obliterated him." Like she just like completely destroyed him, and then he deleted his videos. So instead of like responding to her on like somewhere where a lot of people on like social media can see, instead he took it upon himself to talk about her on his Facebook group pages. So he was with people that he knew would agree with him. And well, he wrote a lot of dumb shit about her, but like the part that's like the most psychotic thing I've ever heard is that apparently in one of the books he wrote, you know how you can leave a dedication in the start of your book? He dedicated it to her. And I'm going to read a little part.
Oh my God.
I'm going to read a little part of the dedication. He wrote, I am surprised.
Why, how long is it?
It's pretty long, dude. I am
what
surprised
the fuck?
how much
Dedications are like so short. Wait, no, are you talking about the one in the front
yes,
of the book or
the front of the
like
book?
The part.
They're usually really short. Like thanks to my mom, you know. But no, he dedicated it to Amber, and he wrote, I'm surprised how much
Amber,
time
it's Hales.
you spend moaning about male authors misrepresenting people and groups when you could spend more time enjoying the things which do not upset your delicate sensitivities. Art can be enjoyed by anyone. Art can be created by anyone. Only Nazis dictate otherwise. You Trout. Yes, I misspelled your name wrong on purpose. And she looked up what a trout means because he's from the UK. And apparently that's slang for like dirty woman.
Yeah, isn't it like hoe?
Yeah. So yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's such a weird. Oh my God, why is he so unhinged though? Just because she wrote a bad review? It pisses me off how unhinged some authors are, but especially when it's like male ones attacking like women reviewers because it feels so misogynistic. It's like you're going to call her Amber because, oh my God, just the logic doesn't make any sense to me. Like, to me, he doesn't want to actually come up with like a, you know, like a reason as to why she's wrong, right? He could have actually said, you know what? Okay, that's okay if you didn't like it, but
this kind of reminds
here's why it works under my genre or whatever.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me, I saw this TikTok circulating recently of this dude who was getting really mad at this girl he had invited on his podcast. And he just decided to say, just to let you know, you're not a 10. Like in looks and everything.
What the fuck?
And she was like, okay, thank you. What, you know, there was no reason for you to say that. And it's like, no, yeah, you're not a 10. And if you took off your makeup, like it might be different, but I don't know if you're willing to do that right now. Like, you know, it was just like trying to get to her.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
And then she laughed because she was just like, why am I going to take off my makeup? This shit's expensive. Like, I'm not going to do that for you. And I don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
And like the whole like conversation between them was just him trying to get her upset. And this is what this feels like. It's just him trying to get a reaction out of her.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of the times, especially with guys having podcasts, and, you know, there's this whole certain clique of men who have these podcasts where they just invite women just to basically humiliate them. And yeah, it just feels like that's what Mash Shaw is too. Like, that's just the type of guy he is. I don't like how recently there's been so many authors who have been attacking reviewers. Honestly, you just look pathetic. You just look, it's just embarrassing. Like, aren't you embarrassed
it's kind of
that you're going to attack someone for not liking your book? No one is like, no one owes you like an explanation as to why they don't like your book. They just don't like it.
I feel like being an author in today's time compared to like when we were kids is so different now. Like, there is so much like more opportunities for you to interact with your audience than there was back then. And there is just some people not making great choices. So it's weird to me that that's possible, you know? Even like the whole fact of like, if someone doesn't like your book, you can literally go in and edit the ebook even if the book's already published. Like, that shit's crazy. Like, things that weren't possible back then. But I don't know. I feel like it's not bad to have communication with your reviewers, but you shouldn't really focus on the bad reviews. You can talk about them if you want, but why like go out of your way to like, it's not even critiquing what they said. It's just being mean to them. There's like no point in that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't really, well, from what it sounds like, it doesn't seem like he wants to have communication
No.
over it. He just wanted to humiliate her.
He just wants the validation of like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, he doesn't want to argue, so he's posting it on a place where he knows people will like agree with him. And
yeah.
I don't know.
People
I kind of agree
like him
with you
piss me off.
too. Like, I'm not a fan of torture porn type of writing. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but there's nothing like, if someone wants to read extreme horror that falls under that genre, then okay, that's fine. But something she had brought up too is like, often in horror communities, when it comes to books, women are often silenced because it's something that it feels like is run by men. And I agree with that. Like, I feel like a lot of horror writers are men. And I don't know. They just act like they own the community when writing should be something that everyone can do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But damn, that was a lot. And we could keep talking about it, but I think we just need to move on to what our episode is actually about.
Although that's
because
spooky,
damn,
let's talk about
that was
love.
heavy. Okay, but before we start talking about love, I do want to say that because spooky season is like right around the corner, we're going to be reading a lot of like thrillers, some horror books, so some mysteries as well. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so yes, a lot of our season 4 is going to be thrillers and horrors, and I'm so excited for that. But I'm also really excited for today's episode because we're revisiting an old friend. Remember last summer? Was it last summer when we did this?
I actually don't remember, but it might have been.
I think it was. We are going to be talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty, the Amazon Prime series, season 2.
Yeah, so it's originally a book series by Jenny Han, who also wrote To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Yeah, so we haven't read the books. I don't know. Well, I mean, I haven't. I don't know if you have. So we're just going to be talking about the show and only season 2. So if you want to know what happened in season 1, please go watch our episode.
Yeah, because that's a lot. It is a lot of, it's very dense, which is kind of funny because this is like a YA, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's surprisingly very rich with character interactions. Like I'll be very honest with you. I love you. I love you so much, Yahaira. I did not want to watch this shit. Like I sat on it for such a long time and I was like, why the fuck did we watch season 1? And I started making myself angry and I was like, you know what? I didn't fucking like season 1. And I remember loving it when we talked about it.
Hello?
Yeah. So then I made myself super, super upset. So I did take notes on when I was watching season 2. And I do want to say some of my notes are very aggressive.
Oh my God, it's going to be one of those episodes.
So just know coming into this, I did not want to watch season 2.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know why you're sorry to me because I feel the same way. I don't know. Like, I literally was starting this season and I was like, as soon as I started the first episode of season 2, I was like, what the fuck? I don't want to watch this. Like, this is so...
Dude, I love you. This is why
I don't know.
we're soulmates.
It's not for me. You know, it's not for me. It wasn't made for me.
You know what I think it is?
I just feel like there's so much drama when I just don't think there needs to be all this drama.
And that's something that we'll definitely touch on a lot. Oh, this is going to be an interesting conversation. Suddenly, I'm in. But
oh, wow. You were before?
No, I was. I'm very excited to talk about this season.
Okay, good.
Let's go ahead and just start with the fact that this show, and I don't want to talk about season 1, but this show revolves around our main character, Belly. She is a teenager. I think she's in her junior year of high school. She just finished it, and it's like the summer after her junior year. She just kind of fucks shit up in her life in between season 1 and season 2, because the end of season 1, Belly was like, there's 2 guys that she grew up with. Their names are Jeremiah and Conrad. They're brothers. Their mom's name is Susanna. And the reason like her family is close to this family is because Susanna's best friends with Belly's mom. So they have this like
Yeah,
summer
with
house.
Laurel.
Yes. They have this summer house where the families would go and just kind of spend time together. And so they grew up together.
Every summer.
Yeah, and Belly.
And Belly has always had a massive crush on one of the boys. His name's Conrad. And I feel like, you know, as the title suggests, the summer I turned pretty, you know, nobody noticed her until one summer she came up and everyone was like, damn, you know what? You were ugly last summer, but this summer, you popping. I don't know.
Yeah, so
And
it was a lot of romance
yes.
in the first one. Like she had 3 people who she like potential love interests. It was Jeremiah, Conrad, and
Cam Cameron.
Cam. Yeah, I forgot his name. Cam Cameron.
Well, that was the first season. That was the first season, though. But yeah,
the end of season 1, just to bring up because it's important for the season 2 episode 1. The end of season 1, she ended up kissing Jeremiah because they were in the pool and he just confessed to her and they kissed and she was like, oh my God, it feels so right. Of course it's Jeremiah. But then
it's always been Jeremiah.
But then her crush, the love of her life, Conrad, ends up kissing her too. And so season 2, episode 1 starts with her at school and she's basically like kissing Conrad and Jeremiah's there and is he okay with it? I think he is.
No. So, but the way that season 2 starts, I hate when shows do this when I feel like they don't have to do this. It's very non-linear. So we know that Belly and Conrad did kind of, you know, let each other know, hey, I'm interested in you, but we shouldn't be together because Jeremiah still really likes Belly and Belly didn't want to hurt Jeremiah. So they were like, okay, let's wait for a bit, wait until, you know, everything's cool, everything's chill. But then I forgot which one of them, but one of them tells Jeremiah about the kiss, right? And it's like, hey, sorry that happened, but you know, I love him, you know, I love him. And Jeremiah ends up really heartbroken. And that's why Belly and Conrad don't get together immediately.
I fucking hate it too because that conversation that she had with Jeremiah, she was so like just ready to say like, oh, no, I can't be with you. Even though it felt like they were already dating at the end of season 1. Like it felt like they had made it pretty secure.
Because they were dating. Like they had kissed in the pool. And then remember he was her date to the debutante. And so like stuff was happening between them. And then that's when Jeremiah found out that his mom, Susanna, has stage 4 cancer. And that's why Conrad was being so like dismissive towards her, or just like closed off, I guess. And then when Jeremiah found out, then that's when his world turned upside down. And yeah, I don't know. I feel so bad for Jeremiah because it kind of felt like, okay, he is accepting that his mother is sick. Oh, and Belly and I had a thing, but now all of a sudden Belly kissed my brother. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like that was
and
just
then
so
I hated it too because
sudden.
Because when she revealed that she kissed Conrad, Jeremiah was literally like, oh my God, I'm so excited for us. I told my friend about us. Like he was so sweet about it. And she was just kind of like, oh, there is no us, by the way. Just want to let you know.
Us?
Me and you?
Loser.
I know. Dude,
that was just funny? This summer.
You know what's funny? Season 1, I didn't really like Jeremiah. I wasn't really like a fan.
No,
I liked him like just as being there, but not as a love interest. I thought it was lame. Like it didn't seem like he had a genuine connection with her. And I feel like this season, I was like, what the fuck? Like apparently there's more shit that I didn't know about that I wish they would have told me in season 1. But
yeah,
she has this like flashback of, you know, that moment where she's revealing to Jeremiah that she's with Conrad. And then she's all of a sudden sitting in her classroom. It's not summer yet. It's like the last day of school. And she thinks to herself, it doesn't matter because the boys don't talk to me anymore and Susanna's dead. And it just like fucking hits you. Like they don't prepare you for any shit. It's just like, no, it already happened and we don't talk to them. And it's
Mhm.
Steven, her older brother's Steven? I don't remember his name.
Steven, yeah.
Steven? Okay. It's Steven's graduation day. So like he was valedictorian and he's doing the high school speech. And when they're doing that, you can see there's 2 empty slots where her family is sitting, Belly's family, for Conrad and Jeremiah, but they didn't come. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
they've broken the relationship to a point that it's not, like, they can't fix it anymore. And us as an audience, we're kind of left as, like, we don't know what happened.
What happened? Yeah. Yeah, because then Steven and Belly kind of have like this argument because he is celebrating the fact that he graduated. So they're at a party, and Belly is obviously not really into it. She's kind of like, she's annoyed because things keep happening to her, you know, that like just things go wrong. And she's so ready to leave. She's just like, Steven, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go. And he gets upset with her and they start fighting. And then he brings up the fact that she destroyed the relationship that he had, right? With the brothers. He's like, they won't even text me back because of you. And then she's like, well, Susanna's dead, bro. Like, she just died. Like, she tries to like throw that in his face. Like, that's why she's upset. And Steven is just kind of like, well,
Get fucking over
yeah,
it. I'm
I know.
sad too.
yeah, exactly. Like that he's sad too, but you know, he has to keep going.
Yep. So
And can we just talk about the past part though? Like I just want to get through that.
yeah, well,
first.
I do want to say,
Because I don't like the non-linear part. Because
Yeah,
I feel
me
like this show
neither.
didn't need that.
dude, that shit
Like some
threw me
shows
off.
need that for suspense, but like I don't need it for this show. I know who she ends up with at the end.
Dude, do you? Oh my god, don't tell me. Okay. It's Cam Cameron. I knew it. Fuck. Okay.
I knew it.
No, I do want to focus on like the past part because that's the most important part. But I don't want us to spend this episode just talking about what happened in the episodes because I wrote a lot of shit that I did not enjoy, which is funny because like my overall watch of episode 1, I did enjoy it. I was in tears. I was crying, dude. I really like how grief was dealt with in the first episode because we got to see it in different ways through Steven, through Laurel, and through Belly. Like Belly is more outward with her emotion. Steven is like, you know, he's sad, but he's coping with it in like with humor, you know, and the mom just completely shut down.
But they keep alluding to like, oh, something happened during the funeral.
Yeah, the
you know,
big
like
thing during
you know,
the funeral.
if you didn't act that way during the funeral, you know, kind of alluding to something went wrong during the funeral. So you can just assume that that's kind of what ended her relationship with Conrad.
Yeah, so she's sitting on her bed and she is like about to go to sleep. She's in tears, you know, the party and Steven blowing up at her. And she opens her phone and decides to contact Jeremiah. And when he answers,
She does mention that Jeremiah has not been answering any of her text messages.
Yep. So when she's surprised when he actually answers, but the first thing he says is like, "Hey, are you with Conrad?" And she was like, "I haven't. No, I haven't talked to him." It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, he's been missing, and we haven't seen him since I don't know, like Thursday or whatever." And she freaks out with him, and he says like, "I'm gonna go visit his college campus tomorrow to see if he's there," and she's like, "Okay, I'm going with you." So they're set to meet. And yeah, that's the end of episode 1. And I want to say,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I liked episode 1 more than I thought I was going to. But the shit that gets to me, two things got to me in this episode. Steven's fucking speech at his high school graduation was so inappropriate. It was so bad.
Yes,
I
knew you were going to bring that up.
How did you know? What do you think bothered me? The fact that he said fuck? Because yes.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, yeah, I know she's going to bring this up.
Oh my God. And
that's funny.
The stupid shit too was like, I don't know when you can tell like an author like wrote a quote and they were like, oh my God, bitches, this better be the quote everyone says when this book gets big. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So-
yeah, like on t-shirts and shit.
Yes. So the quote is in his speech, in Stephen's speech, and apparently it's also in a letter that Susanna had written to him. And it says, the world is not happening to you. You are happening to the world. And I fucking...
Wait, isn't that... I feel like I've heard that quote before,
Yeah,
though.
it's probably from something. I don't think, like... I mean, I love Susanna, but I don't think that came from her noggin. So...
Yeah, I don't think so.
But that's, like, kind of the quote that it feels like they're trying to make it encapsulate this whole season. And I kind of really hate that. Because it gives, like, this character, Stephen, like, this power of, like, oh, yeah, this is the theme of my summer. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care that you're going to college. Like,
Oh, my God. And then he was so pretentious, huh?
yeah.
Like, he se creía mucho. Like, every single time he'd be like, yeah, are you going to an Ivy League? Yeah.
And all I
didn't
fucking
think so.
wanted, all I wanted in this season, and I'm upset about it, is I wanted him to act more like a brother to her. Because I really appreciate that they're brother and sister. And we see Jeremiah and Conrad have a lot of moments where they have to be like, okay, we're siblings. We need to be here for each other. You know, they had that.
Yeah.
Probably not perfect, but at least they had it. But Stephen and Belly, even after like Stephen said all that horrible shit to her at the party, he never really apologized. Like,
No, he didn't.
he just kind of went on with it and she was okay with that. And I fucking hate that shit because like this whole like you happening to the world, it's like, yeah, you're not doing so great. You happening to the world isn't like the greatest thing that's happened right now. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is actually a problem that we need to address.
and I don't know, like this whole like not communicating with Jeremiah and Conrad, I just like I didn't know at this point what had happened at the funeral. But I was like, you're expecting me to believe that this family that has known each other since they were born to now, one thing happened at a funeral and all of a sudden no one talks to each other. Like, I don't believe that would happen. You can't make me believe that.
Well, it did.
I know, it did.
It happened.
It did. And it made me
I was there.
It made me so upset. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the first episode?
So the first episode was kind of hard for me to get into, like I mentioned earlier. I don't know. Like, I felt like so many moments were so cringy to me. I can't really pinpoint which moments, but even from the very beginning when they were like, oh my God, we shouldn't be together because Jeremiah, like, you know how much I hate when there's a love triangle between siblings. Like, that's so weird to me, especially because you grew up with both of them. Like, you're really going to play both of them. Like, you know them, they know you, and well, it seems like you're going to be in this family forever. So why are you going to risk it? Like, I don't know. Like, the whole premise was just annoying me. And then it was annoying me that we didn't know what happened between her and Conrad. Because I kind of just assumed, like, oh, they just stopped talking to each other. But then they would allude to something going wrong during the funeral. So I was like, damn. So what happened between them? But I mean, honestly, once I got more into the first episode, I was like, okay, I'm into it now. I can keep going.
Yes.
Because I feel like for me, like I have to be into it and then I binge it because I just can't, I can't really pause between episodes. I just need to keep going.
So with all the episodes that we watched, I took notes only on the first 6. There's 8 of them. I took notes on my crying level. And for episode 1, I wrote, I'm not crying, but I'm definitely sad and teary-eyed. That was my first one.
Oh, I was definitely sad because I did really like Susanna's character. I thought that she was great. I loved her relationship with Laurel, which is Belly's mom. So that part of the show I did appreciate.
And I do want to say,
still in this season. Yeah.
And I do want to say in episode 1, I felt the same way as you did with the whole why is this so cringy to me? But at the same time, I was like, I think I'm a fan. I think I do love this show. So I was like, the summer I turned pretty like stan at this point. and I didn't know why.
Oh, great.
Okay, so
Okay, great. I love that.
this is a journey. I'm excited to talk about it. Okay. So
Okay. So
Episode
in the
2.
next episode,
Jeremiah was at
Belly and
fucking-
Jeremiah
yeah.
have
You
Belly
go
and
ahead.
Jeremiah have their reunion, and it was definitely awkward. I don't know how you felt, but for me, there was a moment where he kind of like went off on her because the car broke down or their tire popped. And I was like, damn, Jeremiah, I've never seen this side of you. And he kind of just told her, like, you just like did that to me, and then you just expected me to be okay, and then we just didn't talk anymore. Like, you know, like trying to say like you just expect me to just be okay with what happened, and I wasn't. But they kind of like, not that they mend their relationship, but I feel like they kind of are a little bit more what's the word?
It's less
I guess they're
awkward
more
because like what the
Yeah,
issue
and-
was is now out there.
Yeah, and then also Belly mentions to him like, "Oh, I'm not with Conrad," and I feel like that's the part where it kind of made him feel a little bit better. Like, okay, wait, you're not with Conrad? Okay,
Dude, I really
then maybe I still have a chance.
Oh wait a minute. And the tears he was crying
Wait
just
a minute.
automatically suck back into his eyes. He's like, huh.
It's like, you know, I just yelled at you 10 seconds ago. That is redacted. I'm so
Dude,
sorry about that.
This fight that they have is my favorite thing in the whole show. Like this
What?
interaction.
Why?
Because like dude, I just love when books know how to fucking deal with grief. Like that's my shit. So I really appreciated that fight that they had because like you said, there was like an unspoken tension between them. And it was like unknown to us as the viewers because we still don't know what happened at the fucking funeral, but like the tea is there and we know it's there. But when they go outside and the whole tire thing happens and he blows up at her, they're both kind of standing there and she just apologizes and she's like, everything that happened, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish I could take back the funeral. I wish I could take back this and that, but I can't. And he cries. And I don't remember what triggers it, but I think it's kind of her saying like, I would take it back. I wish I would have contacted you more. I wish I would have done this and stuff. And he cries and hugs her. And he says that it was really bad after the funeral. And he was so mad because he was like, because you weren't there. You didn't pick up. You didn't check on me. And he's so sad. And it makes me sad because it's like such a good depiction of a character who in season 1, we just saw him as like the sunshine character. Like he was never angry about anything. So to see him be like, he just was so like at a loss and he had no one to turn to. It made me feel shitty because I was like, wait, I hated Jeremiah. And now I'm kind of like, I feel bad because he's really going through it. And she admitted that during that whole funeral, like she only looked after Conrad and only texted Conrad. And it didn't occur to her that Jeremiah was also going through the same thing.
Yeah, like literally. That's
so when they get
I feel like
car,
Belly.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like Belly is always just thinking about herself.
Dude, I fucking hate that shit because her character is so like the way she talks about the world and her experiences and her emotions. She sounds like her character is all knowing. Like she talks about the feeling of happiness at the moment, the feeling of like unity and family and whatever, and like the moments last forever. She talks about that shit and it's like, dude, you can't even handle your relationship with 2 people right now. Like you can't talk about life that big when you can't handle the fact that you would rather talk to your boyfriend when his mom died and not his brother who was your best friend. Like that shit doesn't make sense to me. So I really liked their conversation. Like to me, that was such a good dialogue. It transitioned really well because when they went in the car, it's still awkward, but they were like, "You want to go eat pie though? Because I'm fucking hungry." this boy fucking hungry. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really nice to see that, like his vulnerability, because he's not a character who shows that often from what we know in season 1.
Yeah. But then while she's with Jeremiah, it also flashes back to a moment where she was with Conrad, before the funeral. And
But already dating.
this is when, they're already dating, and they had kept in contact while he was in college and she was in high school. And there was a moment where he was like, do you want to go to the beach house? And she was like, I've never seen snow on the beach. Hell yeah. And so they go over there and she like makes them hot chocolate and things get a little spicy. I was a little surprised that
I didn't think that they would go that far because they end up having their first time together. And I kind of like assumed like, they're going alone. Something's going to happen. But I didn't think they would. But I mean.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I was like, no way. No way this is going to happen right now. And it did.
Kim Han really had one up her sleeve, dude. I didn't see it coming. It was really cute though because like they had went there and it was empty, of course, because they only go during the summer. And they Belly went to go check to see if there was any food for them to eat, but everything was empty except for hot chocolate. So like they basically just had water and hot chocolate and sat together and saw snow at the beach. And it was really cute.
Yeah. But then back to the present time, when they get to the beach house, I actually kind of liked this scene because she kind of stayed behind a little bit and she was walking into the house really slowly while Jeremiah like kind of bolted towards the living room. And then you just hear him going like, dude, what the hell? Don't ever do that to me again. I was so worried about you. And then it's like this whole suspense, right? Because she hasn't seen Conrad in I don't know how long. And so she's walking and then she sees Conrad, and Conrad, I think this is when he reveals, right, that they're losing the beach house maybe, or and the beach house is very important because this is where they would all meet every summer. And like the whole house is decorated by Suzanne, so it just feels like a very like personal touch, right? And it was so sad because the moment that Conrad looks at Belly, he's just like, what's she doing here?
I know.
What the fuck, Conrad?
Oh,
that bitch, honestly.
But that's how episode 2 ends. I also really liked how she walked in slowly. Like, I like when they're standing. It's so weird to say, but I like when they're standing in a triangle. Like, I like the tension of it because that happens a lot in this season where they're either in a triangle or she's in the middle and she has to choose who she walks towards. It's like a lot of tension between like who she's gonna choose. But yeah. My crying level in this one, I wrote, I can't see through my eyes. Because I was a mess.
Hello? Why were you crying?
Because of her conversation with Jeremiah, dude. After they had it, I just didn't stop. Like it kept going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I was
You know what? I get it. We learned that the house is also owned by, it's owned by Susanna, but it's also owned by Susanna's sister. So it's actually the sister who wants to get rid of the house because she never really felt like it was her own place. And so basically, Conrad and Jeremiah are trying to like somehow convince her to not sell the beach house because this is like the last thing they really have of their mother. And I can't really remember what else happens in this episode, but I think Belly spends a lot of time with Jeremiah, no?
Yeah, she does. So when we learn about Aunt Julia, we learn that they don't really like her. They don't have good communication with her, and that their mom also didn't really like her. So Aunt Julia is seen as like a very bitter person, but it's interesting because when you see her, she's very bitter. Jeremiah and Belly have this plan that instead of contacting with aggressiveness, how Conrad's doing with her, they're gonna like go offer her fucking flowers and just kind of try to convince her to like not sell the beach house. But she automatically goes like, I know what you're doing. Nah, I'm already like, it's in the process, so you can't stop me.
It's already happening. It's already happening.
And she's super cold
and I don't even
dry.
remember if she takes.
No,
Yeah, I don't
doesn't-
even know if she takes the flowers.
She doesn't. So,
she's so
she's
so unlikable.
yeah, she's very unlikable. But this was the episode 2 where she mentions to them, and I don't think it's until later when it's Conrad, Jeremiah, and Belly. And also their cousin. I don't remember the cousin's name.
Skylar?
Sky. I think it's Sky. But when all of them are standing there, Julia makes a comment that's like, you know, your mom wasn't all that perfect either. Like, she just pretended that things weren't shitty all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that she said that, because I like that Susanna's viewed as like a flawed person. Because before, everyone in her life and in season 1 was like, no, she's perfect. She's literally perfect. Yeah. Nothing's wrong with her. She's queen. So I like that that was brought up, and that continues to be brought up throughout the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice to have a different perspective of Susanna. But I mean, they're sisters also. So that makes sense, I guess. And this is also the episode where it's revealed what happened between Belly and Conrad, like where they kind of fell apart. So the reason why they were dating, or I guess Conrad was a little bit more joyful, because if you did watch season 1, he was always very like moody, sad because of what was happening to his mother. But I think she was in remission, right? Or I don't know, like she was doing like chemotherapy, so they had a lot of hope that everything was going to be okay and that everything was going to work out. So he ends up taking Belly to prom, but the whole time he's kind of like not really there because his mother is getting really sick, and they kind of already know that, okay, she's kind of nearing her end. Like something is going really wrong with her health. And so he's been kind of pulling away from Belly once again. But I think at this point, Belly doesn't really know what's happening. And so he takes her to prom, and obviously it's prom. So Belly is over here like trying to have fun, trying to party, trying to have a good time. And I felt so bad for her when all the girls showed their corsage, and she was just like, you know what? It's okay that you forgot it or you didn't get one. It's totally fine. I don't need a corsage. Who cares? So at the party, he doesn't really feel like dancing. I mean, he does take her out to dance, but he's just moping and he's sad. And so he's like, is it okay if we leave? Like, can we get out of here? And Belly doesn't want to leave because, I mean, after prom, the group had plans to go to like a hotel, I think, and like party, I guess. And he's not feeling it. Like, he seems really upset. And so they end up having this moment where they go outside and it's like raining. Of course it's raining. And I think she tells him, it's like one of those moments where she's like, just do it already. Just break up with me. Like, you won't do it. So then I'll just bring it up then. And yeah, they kind of break up in this moment.
Yeah, and when she's walking away,
ends up leaving.
When she's walking away from him too, Steven sees it happen, and Steven like hugs his sister.
Yeah, and he hugs her.
And yeah, I totally forgot that happened in this episode. I do.
Yeah, and then they also bring up the funeral scene too in this episode.
Like exactly the funeral scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the funeral, basically, Belly wasn't even enjoying it at first either, because she did mention that there was a lot of people that attended the funeral that were crying who like didn't even know Susanna. So it really got to her because she was just like, why are they here? You know, and it was a very emotional day. Conrad performed a song, and that was a lot.
I skipped that part.
Why? I want to know why. Please tell me your thoughts.
I just couldn't handle it. As soon as he started, like the first note, I was like, I can't watch this. I really can't.
Dude, I sat through that shit and he couldn't get through the song. Like he was crying during the song. It wasn't good. Like it wasn't a good rendition. Like he didn't practice. Like I don't know. It made me feel very like I had an out of body experience and I was very aware that I was watching a TV show. You know what I mean? Like it like took me out.
Like you weren't in it anymore. You were just like, why am I here?
So I fucking hated that shit. But after that, after the funeral's over, they are it's the beach house, right? Or their house. I'm not sure. But they're in a house and people are walking around. And at this point, remember, Belly and Conrad had already broken up. But she really wanted to check on him because she basically, in her mind, she was like, whatever happened. I still want to make sure he's okay. So she like gets like a fruit bowl for him.
But that part was weird to me because she was like, I made a promise to myself that no matter what, I would stick by Conrad's side today. Yeah. And I don't know, like to me, that's just weird to me.
I don't know.
Like, what if he doesn't want you there?
Because they were already exes, but I don't know if she felt like she had like a girlfriend obligation. And it was weird to me that she was so fixated on helping Conrad, but you can clearly see that Jeremiah was a mess. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he went upstairs and she was like, I'll go with you in a second. And then when she's making the food bowls, Steven is like, I'll go give this to Jeremiah. And he goes to check on Jeremiah. So there was a point of that I was kind of like, did she just forget? Like she said she was going to do that shit and she never did. So
no, I think she just forgot. I feel that Steven coming up and taking the bowl from her and telling her, I'll take this to Jeremiah, kind of alleviated that responsibility, you know? Like, okay, well, then I don't have to check up on him then. He's fine.
I fucking hate it. She has this thing, and she does it all season, where she feels like she has to insert herself to fix the issues. And that's
and I know how much you love that.
Oh, dude, that's exactly what she did at this point, because she goes to look for Conrad, and when she finds him, he has his head on the lap of the girl that he dated. I don't remember her name. Aubrey? Mm-hmm. And as soon as she sees it, she like, is super like, okay, fine. I was gonna comfort you, but here's your fruit and whatever. And he gets up and he's like, no, Belly, I need to talk to you and whatever, and starts following her down the stairs. And she just like it's a huge scene. And she's just like, I don't remember what she says, that she doesn't want to start a scene at the funeral. And then he's trying to be like, no, it's not what you think. And it's like, no, whatever. You just, if you want to be comforted by one of your exes, I just thought that we meant more than that. And I think she slaps him, right?
Honestly, I don't remember that. Does she slap him? I think she pushes him away. I don't really remember.
Something like that. And then there's like a lot of movement and she ends up falling to the floor.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Oh my God, which was so embarrassing because everybody was literally just staring at her. And the worst part of it was that Laurel was just like, what the fuck? She couldn't even look at Belly.
I know. And such a bad mom thing to do. Like, I know that was your best friend, but this is your daughter who's obviously going through a lot of shit. And instead, her mom kind of makes a face like, wow, you made it all about you. And it's like,
yeah. Like, can you just leave, actually? Can you leave?
I fucking hate that shit. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Another thing that
no, I do too.
In episode 3, and it's kind of been happening in the background of these episodes, is the fact that Steven and Belly's best friend Taylor are also headed to Cousins to the beach house. And Taylor in this season is dating this one rapper, singer, song artist who no one likes, but she's like, no, he's the love of my life. We're literally twin flames. I love him. And it's weird for Steven.
I checked our birth charts and we're literally so compatible, guys.
I did that thing on TikTok where you put your birthdays and our moons were literally the same. So Steven feels weird about it because he keeps bringing up like, won't your boyfriend feel weird that we're going to Cousins together because of our past? You know, even though they had only kissed
Yeah.
like once. Well, the way that she describes it, they only kissed once. But they're both very like, no, we have to go to cousins. We have to check on them. And it's more so because Steven kind of tricked her and was like, no, yeah, they invited me. Let's go. But the shit I hate is because I don't know how to feel about Taylor. Like at some points I was like, I love this girl, Queen. And at other points I'm like, she feels like that type of character that says shit to progress plot. Because like when Steven and Taylor were in the car, Taylor called him out and was like, yeah, you were mean to your sister. Like, she's grieving. And he was like, well, she made it all about her, whatever. And then so out of character, because I've never heard her talk like this, she was like, well, you know what? Happiness and grief can coexist, and that everyone processes grief differently. So, you know.
Yeah. Like so profound.
Like
all
you're
of a sudden.
valid, but like your sister is also valid. And then he's just kind of like, thank you. And I was like, what the fuck? That wasn't Taylor. Valley Girl Taylor?
Yeah,
no, it wasn't. It brings up that she goes to like therapy, and I'm like, good for you, Queen. But I don't know. She's never once spoken like that. And honestly, she doesn't really seem like a good friend. So
yeah, I kind of agree with you where I felt really torn about whether or not I liked her character. I can't even remember how I felt about her in season 1. But for season 2, there were moments where I was like, okay, you know what, Taylor, she's not that bad. But then other times I was like, okay, I don't really
I remember
like Taylor.
hating her in season 1 only because she treated Steven like shit, and she didn't even bother to learn Jeremiah's name and would always call him Jeremy. I hated that shit.
Oh, yeah. But then she was team Jeremiah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I fucking hate that shit. And
kind of weird.
The fact that she doesn't understand, according to Belly, the complexity of her relationship with Conrad. So anytime she brings up Conrad to Taylor, Taylor's just like, forget that bitch. It's like, have you ever heard Belly talk about him? Like, it's not something she can just do overnight. Like, you're not bothering to talk to your best friend. It's clear. Like, I don't know. I hate that shit. No tears shed in this episode.
Yeah. None. Zero.
No tears shed, but...
Not even during the funeral?
No. Surprisingly, I did not cry during the funeral. I think it was the song that kind of just took me out.
You were like, I'm out of here.
So episode 4, I wrote in my notes in all caps, I wrote, Steven, I'm glad this man is here. Damn. Because I don't know. Steven's character, I feel like he's constantly, like, it's as if the author also knows he's just a background character. Because he knows it. Everyone knows it. Like, so
yeah.
It makes me sad that literally everyone is so like fixated on Belly, and he's over here like, where do I sit on the couch? Do I sit in my old spot? Like, you know? So like I loved seeing that shit because it made me feel so, I mean, come on. He's not that important, which is so sad. Sky is hanging out with them. So in this part, Aunt Julia's already like setting up like open house events for like to sell the house. And everyone is so set on just ruining her plans. So they were planning to hang out during open house in order to like just be annoying, and like anyone who wanted to buy just kind of scare them away. But I don't remember why, but they
and then didn't they like ruin the AC too? So everyone was burning up, and they were like, "Oh, this is it for sure." Yeah, and they were like, "You know what? Let's just go to what was like a fair was happening,
a boardwalk."
So they all ended up leaving
with Sky
to the boardwalk, and Sky ended up tagging along too. And because they also wanted to show Sky how awesome this place is, or like how magical this place is, because they also thought, well, Sky might be also another hope for us for what's her name again? Aunt Julia, to not sell the house.
I like how you said they, even though it's literally just Belly. Belly's over here like, we're gonna fix it with love. She's gonna love this place. And her thoughts were like, I'm gonna show them cousins, like the boardwalk and like how we used to be. And oh my gosh, I don't know. I didn't really like this episode that much because it was just them competing. And when shows have this type of thing, it makes me feel like they had extra money. So I want to show everything that we were able to do with the actors and actresses. Yeah. So it's like just showing shit.
Yeah. To me, I felt, I don't know. Is Belly not embarrassed? I don't know. Like the way that she comes off when she's like being competitive and, you know, the way that she talks to both of the brothers, both Conrad and Jeremiah, like, I'm just like, you don't feel any shame at all. The fact that you know, were with Jeremiah first, then you were with Conrad and you're kind of flip-flopping between both again.
And very obviously kind of flirting with both.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think she's a little bit more with Jeremiah because Conrad seems completely uninterested in her because he's just focused on saving the beach house.
You're right. Anytime she talks with Conrad, it seems very like not cold, but you can tell it's like very emotional. Like, you know, there's like very unspoken stuff that has happened between them. There's this one scene where they're playing a game where she wins a prize. And he thinks about, or they have a flashback about the first time that they had played there. And when he won a prize, he got it for her. But it was the same day he was trying to flirt with like the worker that was there. And so then in like present time, she, instead of like, they both remember it, but instead of her grabbing that same prize, because he was like, are you gonna get like a second one so that the first one can have a friend? She was like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get a draft instead. And like, you know, kind of to show that she's not interested anymore.
Yeah, like she's kind of moved on. And also this was the moment where, because she lost the competition of all the games, I guess, she had to ride the, what was it called? The Super Shot? What is that one called?
The Tower of Terror?
No.
It's basically that.
Oh.
It's the one.
Well, the Super Shot's a little bit different, actually. But anyway, so she had to ride this one where it goes all the way up and then it drops you, right? And so Jeremiah ended up going with her. And I thought that moment was kind of cute, though, because he like was holding her hand, even though he was scared too. And I think this was the moment where she kind of realizes like, okay, this guy is always here for me. And Conrad isn't, you know? Right? Like this was one of the moments where she kind of had this realization. And I think that's why she also ended up picking that other stuffed animal to kind of show like, okay, I'm kind of moving on from Conrad.
And it's funny because everyone was watching them and they were clearly like, after the ride was over, both Jeremiah and Belly were just looking at each other. And like, I don't know, it feels weird to me that you dated his brother so seriously, have broken his heart. And you're right. She feels no shame. She just outwardly does this because she's very like driven by her emotions. And I get that. There could be characters like that. But she has no consideration for the people around her.
No,
which is funny because
it drives me crazy.
Which is funny because her character is meant to be like the most considerate person.
Yeah. But I disagree, actually. But anyway, so after the boardwalk, they end up going back to the beach house and everything is gone. Freaking Aunt Julia took the time to, or took advantage of that time and had everyone clear out the house and put everything in storage.
There's no way they did that in a day.
Yeah, I know, literally. Like it was spotless in there. It was spotless.
They must have had hundreds of men running in that house, getting everything out. She's, go, go, go. We got like 2 hours.
Seriously. So they, in the next episode, that's why they end up staying somewhere else. I can't remember where, but they end up staying somewhere else for the night.
Oh my God. I fucking hate this shit because they stay at the country club that Cam Cameron's mom works at. She doesn't own it. She just works at it. So he breaks into the country club for them, takes the the food and the blankets and anything, and just kind of makes like a safe space for them. They were going to sleep inside, but then they were being messy, which I fucking hate that shit. Because after they said, okay, you know, we're going to be clean because we don't want anyone to know we were here. Fucking Taylor's making a bong out of an apple and making such a fucking mess. They're not being considerate at all. And I hate that fucking shit so much.
And then Cameron was so stressed. He was just like, guys, please.
I feel for him.
Please, don't make a mess.
Oh my gosh. I fucking hated that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Like they had a moment where they played Truth or Dare and Sky dared Belly to kiss Jeremiah. And she was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. But,
yeah, she like wanted it. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
But,
and Conrad was like right there.
Yep, Jeremiah did not. And then at the end of the night, when everyone's sleeping outside, she approaches Jeremiah about it. And she was like, why don't you want to kiss me? Like, you so obviously don't want to kiss me. And
she's like, I feel like you're mad at me or something. I don't know why. I didn't do anything to you.
Yep.
Like, she's so like not self-aware at all. She's just like, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to kiss me. Like, my lips are obviously very kissable. They're juicy.
Yeah,
like,
weird.
Come on, Jeremiah.
So he basically says that he doesn't want to kiss her because if he kisses her once, he feels like he won't be able to stop. And when he said that, I paused it and I walked out of my room and I just kind of took a moment for myself. It was really like, I had to do like my breathing exercises. Like I just really needed to like recover from that because that's the cutest shit I've ever heard. But at the same time, I did not view Jeremiah as a love interest in the first one. So it kind of caught me off guard that all of a sudden she's like, you know what, Conrad who? I don't know that bitch.
Who the fuck is Conrad?
Fuck is Conrad? So, yeah.
I do remember, I don't really remember season 1, but I do remember that I did like Jeremiah for her. Because I don't know, like, Conrad didn't...
Because the thing about Conrad that was in season 1 and also season 2 is that when he's going through something really hard in his life, he cuts everyone off.
He pushes everyone away.
And though that's the only ways that we've seen him. So it's like, how am I supposed to root for Conrad if he's a shitty person?
And then Jeremiah also brings that up because he also would cut him off, you know, like he doesn't want to talk to anybody. And so Jeremiah like brought that up to Belly, like, you know, when Conrad gets upset, you know, he just like pushes us all out of his life. So it's obviously something that just goes with his character. So that's why I wasn't really like super in love with Conrad, but I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So the next day,
this is just too much drama.
The next day, they go back to the house and Aunt Julia's like, someone already bought it. I'm going to go to Boston and sign the deal. Too late, you know, whatever. And she leaves. And they're all like, oh my God, this is devastating. We lost the house.
This is so sad.
So then...
What am I going to do?
I don't remember who it is, but one of them is like, you know what? It can't end like this. It can't end like this. We need to throw the biggest rager that this house has ever seen. There needs to be alcohol. I know we're minors, but there needs to be alcohol, good music, a DJ. Let's go use our fucking credit cards and spend thousands of dollars at Party City to throw the best party ever. And they do.
And they do. They throw the best party ever.
I hate that they went to Party City. I hate that shit. It makes me like to spend thousands of dollars at Party City. Hello? I filled my car up with gas today and I had to check my bank account to see if I'd survive the month. Like that shit's crazy to me. Like you know what I mean?
I forgot. Yeah, because Conrad pulls out a black credit card. He's like, okay, so are we using my dad's credit card?
I hate that shit.
The emergency funds one? Okay,
That's
I'm down.
So stupid. That is the most spoiled shit I've ever heard. Hello?
Yeah. It's pretty annoying. I didn't like that either.
So yeah, so then even at like the Party City, both Conrad and Belly have a moment where they're walking down an aisle together And Belly's like,
Mhm.
okay, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room, you know? And he's just kind of smiling like, oh, okay, yeah, oh my gosh, yes, let's address it. And she was just like, I just want to apologize. Like, you know, if you wanted to be with Aubrey, I think that's the apology, right? It's basically like, I'm sorry. I had no right to intrude. I wasn't even your girlfriend at that point. Sorry.
Mhm.
And then he's just kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's fine. I mean, friends, right? BFFs, besties. And she's like, yep.
Besties for
friends.
life.
And you can tell he
Yeah.
looks disappointed that she said that.
Mhm. But the thing about him is that he doesn't just like say it. He's not like, "Girl, I love you." It's because he's so focused on trying to save the house right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. But I hate it. Dude,
I hate it because I feel like the timing is always the worst. Like his timing is just really bad.
Mhm.
When he's like, you know what? Wait, I do want to be with Belly, actually. Hold on.
Oh my God. So like I said, I don't.
They threw during that party is when she fights with Conrad, no?
Yeah,
Like,
a
they have a
lot
fight at
happens
this
during
moment?
that party. Dude, I wrote it all down. So it's episode 6 that they have this party. First of all, stupidest shit I've ever seen. Because for people who care a lot about the memories of this beach house, what made them think that throwing a party with teenagers getting drunk was going to be a good idea? Because that house
I'm
got
not sure.
destroyed. Windows broken, people vandalizing the walls with spray paint, like just trash everywhere. Like there was no, oh my God. They even had like this moment where Belly had to go get the alcohol because she was like, you know what? To the cashier, they're having a really hard time. And it would be really nice if you just did this one solid for us. It's like, shut the fuck up. I hated watching that shit. So at this party, there's a few things that happen. Taylor.
Like, there's no way that would actually work. There's no way. Because he's like, and then, you know what I hated about it too? Was that Conrad went in first to try to convince him, or try to use the fake ID. Then I think Jeremiah went in after and tried to, I don't know, use his charm. And then Belly was like, don't worry, guys, I got this. And then she's like pretending to be all sad and whatever.
And that
I
feels
didn't like that
so
part either.
like manipulative. Like someone just died. You're
it definitely
using
is.
them to get alcohol? That's so shitty. That is so shitty.
Mhm.
But anyway, this party happens and a few things happen at this party. It's like a 90s themed party. So Belly is going around in her skates and she's over here enjoying her time, whatever. She falls once and Jeremiah catches her and whispers in her ear, "You don't have to get hurt to get my attention." And again, I did have
Oh
to
my
pause and do a
God.
few yoga poses because that shit really got me. That shit really got me.
Not the
dude.
yoga poses.
I know.
Uh-huh.
So okay, that happens. So there's like this very strong tension between them, but it's still weird because it's like, why would you say that shit, but you still don't want to kiss her? So, okay. And
Yeah.
then Taylor and fucking Steven get together, but also Taylor's boyfriend shows up. So there's this huge fight and, it's stupid. Like I really don't care about that shit. And it's funny because Taylor and Steven were like
I don't
my
either.
favorite part of the whole show. But I don't-
Really?
yeah.
I did not care about them.
I thought it was cute, but at the same time, like when it got to the end, I was like, why the fuck did I waste my time on this shit? But anyway, like I thought it was sweet that they had like that friendship going to like a relationship, but whatever. And then Conrad, I don't know what triggers it, but Belly basically looks around the house and realizes that everything's getting trashed. So she gets really drunk. I don't know if it happens in that order, but she goes to the beach and Conrad finds her and is like, "Belly, come on, you need to go back. You're drunk." And then she gets super mad at him, but I don't remember what she says to him.
I'm
Oh.
assuming it's probably because he just keeps pushing her away, no?
I remembered. Yes.
What is it?
Kind of. It was the fact that Conrad did not share with her that he went to Jeremiah to ask for permission to date Belly. And she was so offended because it was like, if I had known that, I would have given us more of a chance. Like, I would have fought for us. And that kind of...
Which to me, that doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
Why?
What difference would that have made? And also, wouldn't you have assumed that because you kissed Jeremiah and had a little thing with him, that these brothers would eventually have to talk about it? Like...
Yeah. They would have to address what happened.
And no matter what, even if they're dating, he doesn't have to disclose that information to you. This was a talk with his brother. So it made me mad that was the shit she was angry about. And it was very apparent at the party because there was like a fight with them three. That was what triggered her drinking. It was Belly, Jeremiah on one side and Conrad on the other. And Jeremiah basically started like dragging Conrad and dragged Belly into it. Like, yeah, he's a horrible person, right, Belly? Right. And she was just like, why do you guys always do this? Why do you put me in the middle? Which I hate that she said that because she puts herself in the middle.
Well, I don't know. Like, it pisses me off that Belly doesn't realize that she keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Like, it's a pattern at this point. So she'll be with Jeremiah or she'll show interest in Jeremiah, but the moment that Conrad gives her like a little tiny little crumb, she's like, oh my God, Conrad, literally, if you would have just told me, I would have been with you, Conrad, this whole time.
It's funny because I liked Conrad for her in the first season, and now that I think about it, I don't even know why. Because he, like, the way that he shows romance is through just giving crumbs. Because do you remember that one scene where they were, like, making food and she was like, oh, yeah, I can make this. I'm really good at making this food. And he, like, out loud just says, oh, I thought your specialty was hot chocolate. And it was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're not even dating me.
Like, he's trying to flirt with her, but the way that he flirts with her is like, I don't know. It's like the tiniest little things that really wouldn't mean anything.
And then, like, even like his demeanor.
You're trying. It's like based through nostalgia, really. Like with the stuffed animal, and then with the hot chocolate. It's like you're not really saying how you feel currently. Yes. You're just trying to provoke an emotion that she felt in the past,
and it's
which doesn't even matter anymore.
His demeanor during these moments too, it doesn't even seem like he's interested. Like, he just brings it up to not bring at all. It up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he doesn't even he doesn't look like, I don't know, like, he doesn't actually like really look at her during these moments. He kind of just like says it and then like turns away or walks away or something.
It's weird tension. It's super weird. And I'm not sure at like, because Belly is so flip-flop about how she feels about all the, like, both brothers, that I don't know. I hated it. I hated it so much. But still a stan at this point, by the way. I was enjoying this watch so much. I binged it in a day. So I was enjoying this watch.
Isn't this when you stopped taking notes, though?
Yeah. I stopped at episode 6. But the party basically ends for her after that fight with Conrad. She goes to a room, gets in a sleeping bag, and calls her mom, who she hasn't been contacting at all. Her mom didn't even know they were at Cousins. Her mom puts her to voicemail, and she's just kind of like, Mom, they're selling the house. Come fix it. Whatever.
Oh, no, she's like crying hysterically. She's like, Mom, I need you. Whatever. I don't even know. But then, okay, this part also made me really upset. I don't know how you felt about it. So I think this was the end of that episode, right? Because in the next one, the mom like kind of like pushes her around or something. She's like, "Wake up!" And Belly's like, "What are you doing here? Like, who told you to come here?" And the mom's obviously really upset because, you know, they threw a party, and also she wasn't aware that the house was being sold. And Belly lets out like, well, you haven't even been around. Like, you aren't around. I feel like you're upset with me. I feel like you hate me or something. Like, you can't even look at me. And I can't remember if the mom says anything to her at this point, but she just like hits her. And then that's kind of like her realizing that she hasn't been processing the death of her best friend. She's kind of just been shut down the whole time. And I hated this scene like so much. Like, I don't know. I understand that she hadn't processed, you know, her grief, but I didn't like that she hit Belly, because it's like, okay, what are you saying? Like, you know, like, what are you saying by hitting your daughter? You know, because Belly was right, even though I don't like Belly. Belly was right. She wasn't around. She wasn't, you know, really there for either of her kids while they were also grieving. But I don't know. Just this whole part just
I agree with you.
Made me upset.
I didn't like it because I know that Laurel's character is supposed to be flawed. Like, we're supposed to see that she's not a great mom, but it's also like they try to justify it by saying like, well, you know, she's going through a lot and some people grieve differently, and she grieved in a very like unhealthy way and whatever. But same, like, why did it? I didn't want to see her hit Belly. Because the fact that happened, and then after time passed, she goes up to Belly and it's like, I'm so sorry. And then she's just like, oh,
I would have.
It's fine, Mom.
Yeah. I would have preferred if she would have just like thrown something on the ground, because that would have been out of character too. But at least like she could have still had that realization of like, oh my God, wait, I've had this like pent up anger and I haven't released it, as opposed to like taking it out on Belly. Because I don't know. I also agree with you that I didn't like how afterwards when they did address it, it was kind of just like, yeah, sorry about that. Can we move past that? Yeah. Like, okay, great.
It's so toxic too, because Belly basically, when they do address it, Belly says, I thought you hated me. Like, I thought that's why you've been the way you are. And like, even though they both come to like this, you know what? No, I don't hate you. You're my daughter. You're my mom. I love you. If I was Belly, I would never forget that shit ever. That would affect my entire life. Like, there is no way she's just going to let that go, but she does.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously moms aren't perfect, but like, damn, like, I don't know, like even the apology to me felt so empty, you know, like it didn't feel like you really meant that apology.
I think this is the episode where Conrad and Belly both kind of agree that they want to be friends. And that's kind of where it ends. And then Jeremiah has a conversation with Conrad where Conrad does bring up Belly and I are just friends. So now it's like known that there's nothing between them. And
yeah.
God, I don't remember if it's I think it is in this episode because this is second to last. But they're basically so the mom basically fixes everything. She contacts Conrad and Jeremiah's dad and is like, don't be that bitch. And he's like, okay, fine, I won't be that bitch. And then he's like, I'm going to sell the other house so that we can keep this house. The end. Everything's good. So that's literally all that happens. I hate that this wasn't the first thing they did. Dude, doesn't it kind of feel
because
too?
Remember Aunt Julia was already feeling like, you know what? Fine, I'll leave the house to these broke bitches. You know what? They really need this house.
And
or
it's
whatever.
funny because Aunt Julia and Laurel have this like heart to heart where they talk about like Susanna. And that felt so weird to me because it was like, Laurel, this lady who's going through so much shit is the one who solved the most emotional, the biggest emotional problem in this whole season. She's the one who solved it. Like, it felt so weird to me. So, she convinces the dad and they end up keeping the house and everyone is so happy. And Belly has one of those moments where like everything's in slow motion and she's looking around and she's like, this is happiness. This is true life. This is memories forever. I am happening to the world. The world isn't happening to me, bitch. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Full circle, honestly. And it's like, it's funny because of course this would happen to Belly, right? Not even Steven, who said the quote. Yep. She's like, yeah, I am happening to the world.
I fucking hate that shit. And so everyone goes home. Taylor left early. Taylor left in Steven's car. Steven is going to go with Laurel. And then Belly was going to go with them. But then the mom was like, you know what? You are my teenage daughter, but go ahead and go with Jeremiah and Conrad to go drop Conrad off in college, to go pick up his stuff, take his final. Because that was like the huge thing. He had to take his final to get into Stanford. I don't even want to talk about that shit. But she ends up going with them. And when they get there and Conrad goes to take his final, Jeremiah and her have a conversation, and she just goes like, you know what? You know how season 1 me, this is how she says it. You know how season 1 me was like all Conrad? Well, girls change. And honestly, it's always been you.
And girls also just want to have fun.
I know. Just to let you know, don't get it twisted. That doesn't change. But girls do change. Don't get it twisted. Okay, so she basically says that it's always been Jeremiah, and she has no feelings left for Conrad at all. Like, she was like, Conrad, if that bitch even came near us, no hesitation. So they kiss, and Conrad comes back and sees them and then walks away. Mm-hmm. And no, well, he first goes like, has this been happening? Like, what has this been happening? And they basically go like, no, you need to, let's talk. And he walks away. And then you can see it in Belly's face that she immediately like regrets it. And I fucking hate that shit. I hate that shit so much.
Yeah. Well, what I hated was the fact that Jeremiah was like, go talk to him, Belly.
Can you
You're
solve
the only
it?
one who can get through to him. Can you solve this problem? Because you're such a good problem solver, Belly. Since season 1, you've been solving all of our problems. Please go talk to him.
So she does go. And I know that she catches up to him. And dude, I don't even fucking remember what they said. But he basically like blows her off. And is like, no, yeah, you want to be with my brother? Fine. Are you just trying to get me jealous? Is that what's happening? And,
yeah. The whole jealousy part was weird.
It was weird because he acts as if there was tension between them when they were at the beach house. But like he gave nothing. So what is he assuming? And they're not even dating. And the way it ended is his fault. So like he has no right to act like that. So then Belly goes back to Jeremiah and goes like, I want you to know that I don't regret it. Like, I'm glad that we kissed or whatever. And I think they kiss again, but whatever. They don't kiss again. They're just like kind of like they don't know what to do next, but they know that they like each other. So they hold hands, whatever. They're waiting in the car and they're like, you know what? He's probably not going to show. But then he does, and he has this whole change of character and becomes like,
oh my God.
Conrad becomes the biggest asshole.
This part literally took me out. I was like, this feels so out of character. And I'm very uncomfortable with his like tone. I'm uncomfy right now.
Me too, because the whole time, like, he was trying to sing in the car. He was like, oh my gosh. Or something about the sweater. Because she was wearing his sweater, Conrad's sweater.
No, she was wearing the gray one at this point. No,
Jeremiah's sweater.
And she was like, "Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Well, I'm going to Stanford, but that's cute. Wherever that school was, I can't remember.
Finch, whatever it was called. But then he leans forward and he's like, Belly, you know what? I have a question. But out of both of us, who's the better kisser? And it's like,
oh my God.
Like, bitch, read the fucking room. Like, this shit is so inappropriate. So the weather ends up getting really bad because basically they're driving Belly home. The weather gets really bad and they get like flash flood warnings, so they can't go anywhere. So they stay at a hotel that only has one, or at a motel that only has one bed. And at this point, a lot of shit happens, but I just want to say Jeremiah and Conrad have a conversation and Jeremiah's like, I like her. And honestly, I don't know what to do. Like, they're both sitting by the vending machines. He's like, I don't know what to do because I know you like her too. And Conrad agrees. He does like her. And he was like, I just want you to know, like, if it were anyone else, I would fight for her. But because it's you, I feel like if you tell her that you like her, she's going to go for you. So I don't want us to lose our relationship over this. If she chooses you, I will not get in the way. And he's just like, nah, I'm not going to tell her. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will. Oh no, maybe he's so like, it feels like he doesn't even fucking care about this shit. But when they're in
I know, like it all just kind of feels like a joke to him.
When they're in the motel room and she's in the bed, Jeremiah's asleep and Conrad's asleep. They're both on the floor. No, Conrad's awake. And Conrad just goes like, hey, Belly, I like you, by the way. Just want to put it out there. Love my life. Love you, bitch. No, actually, Queen. But like, he just confesses to her. And now Belly's just sitting there like, what the fuck do I do? And I hated this part because it felt like what Jeremiah had said was going to happen. I felt like she was going to go back to Conrad because now that was there. And I was not down for that shit. But at the end of the whole season, basically she does not acknowledge what Conrad said and instead goes up to Jeremiah because Conrad chooses to take the bus back home or back to Cousins. And Jeremiah is driving Belly home. And basically Belly says like, I choose you. This is like, I want this to work. I want us to work. And then they kiss. And I think Conrad sees it and he leaves. But
it wasn't this the moment where he was like really upset about it. Like he was just like sad.
Yeah.
Sad boy vibes.
Sad boy vibes. But he leaves. Like he doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, also he's planning on going to Stanford, so
yeah. I mean,
I'm
this
very
boy
confused.
got his life set, so why does he have to worry about Belly?
Yeah, why are you so worried about Belly? And also, after Belly and Jeremiah go back home, I think I don't even know where they're going, but he took her to the volleyball meetup, right?
Oh yes.
She was in volleyball, but stuff happened. Oh, the funeral happened, and she kind of like
it was a lot.
Wasn't dedicated to that anymore. And she's trying to get back into it. And at this moment, that's when Taylor and Steven see them walking in together, and she's kind of like celebrating because she's always been team. What was their ship name again? Jelly?
Jelly? I think it's Jelly.
Yeah, it was Team Jelly was I don't understand why Steven would be on Conrad's side. I feel like they two should have been flipped. It should have been Steven on Jeremiah's side and Taylor on Conrad's side.
I hate the fact
like it didn't
that
make sense to me.
Belly's relationships with these boys like that. Like they have ship names. That's weird.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I also didn't like that she even said whatever their ship name was. Like, I don't know. Like, that kind of just took me out, too.
Yep. I hate
But
it.
anyway, we've said a lot, and it's been a long time. So now, why don't we talk about how you felt about the show? Or is there anything specifically we should talk about?
No, I think this is overall thoughts now, because we've said everything that needs to be said.
Yeah, I think we have. I hope we have. Have we even talked in this episode?
I feel like we have. I feel like, well, it's just been a lot of aggressive talk.
I thought you were going to be more aggressive, honestly.
Well, I'm about to.
Oh, aw, cute.
Do you want to
Okay,
go
well, then let
first?
me start off
Yeah,
then.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so like I already said, I wasn't super into the show, or sorry, the second season once I was starting it again. I do remember that I was into the first season and I enjoyed it. But this season was really difficult for me to, I guess, enjoy overall because I really did not like Belly's character. Like, to me, if I was in her place, I would literally just like sit myself down and be like, why am I like this? Like, why am I ruining this family for really like nothing? Like, I don't know. I don't understand Belly's character. To me, she was supposed to be someone who was oh my God, I'm like blanking out. She was supposed to be someone who always wanted to put, other people's feelings before hers, who wanted to be helpful. But to me, it just kind of felt like she was always inserting herself in situations that she did not need to be a part of. Like, this was a family thing. And I know that she grew up with these boys, but like, she kind of ruined their relationship for a minute there. And I think that any sane, or not sane, I guess self-aware person would realize, like, hey, I'm a problem in this relationship, so either I need to like exit or completely change. Like, honestly, like, if she wanted to keep liking one of the brothers, it should have just been Conrad, because that was her original crush, right? Even though I did not like Conrad's character at all, but for her to not ruin the relationships again, she should have just been like, okay, it's Conrad or nobody. And he's not into me, so then it's nobody. So then let me go be on my own. But because we know who she ends up with, we know that she's going to end up with Conrad, because that's who, well, I mean, I think she is. I'm pretty sure she is, because that's who she ends up with in the book, at least. That's what I heard. The way that this show was going, like, it makes no sense to me how she's going to end up with Conrad, because Jeremiah seemed like a better option for her, because he's so, I guess he's just more in touch with his emotions, and that is someone who you should be with if you want to be with someone long term. So I don't know, like, this show was just very frustrating to me, and there were so many moments where I was just like, this is really cringy, or this is really upsetting, or I don't really like that this is happening, or this is how this love is being portrayed, because Conrad was just giving her crumbs this entire time. And it's weird, because I know a lot of people love Conrad and Belly. Like, I don't know if you've been the same way, but whenever I see any edits of this show, it's always Team Conrad and Belly. And it's just confusing to me, because maybe you like them in the book, but in the show, I don't really see what's so likable about them together. And I don't know, like, I just wish that there would have been a little bit more to them if this is who the end game is going to be. But I did hear about I did hear like a little bit of a spoiler. I'm not going to say it right now, but, and if it does happen, I am going to be really disappointed in, the author, pretty much. I mean, because it happened in the book, but I don't know. I just was also disappointed with.
Text me the spoiler.
Okay, but I don't know if. Okay, but what if I'm wrong? Okay, because I haven't read the book, but all right, I'll send it to you.
Okay, give me one moment. Oh my God.
Okay, I'm really hoping that this doesn't end up happening the way that I feel it's going to go, because Jeremiah is a more likable character, in my opinion. I think that they're just going to somehow grow apart. Like, that's my guess. This is my prediction, okay? This is my prediction currently. I think that they're just going to grow apart somehow. Like, maybe they're going to realize within time, you know what? You and I, we're not really as compatible as we thought we were. And so that's going to be whatever springs her to Conrad again, which I don't know, like, just thinking about her going back to Conrad stresses me out. I'm just like, girl, are you not embarrassed? This is embarrassing. There are way more, there are other guys that you should be talking to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this show isn't really for me. I don't know, because I know that people really enjoy it, and I think it's just the drama, and yeah, drama can be fun, but sometimes it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. Like, if it made a little bit more sense to me, then maybe I would enjoy it. But I just think that a lot of these problems could be avoided. And that's my issue with it.
Your rating out of 5 for this, can I say my overall thoughts? Because I'm going to add on to everything you said.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I completely agree with you. Like, at first I was a stan, and I didn't know why I was enjoying this season so much. And I thought I was in it for like the romance. Like, I wanted to see who she ended up with at this point. But then when I got to the end and I stopped taking notes, I realized that I do not like this show. And
yeah,
the thing that I liked about this season was just how they dealt with grief. I thought that it was written very well and very true to like the different ways that people grieve. So I enjoyed that
Mhm.
aspect of the show. And I enjoyed when characters would express grief to each other because it was
Mhm.
very like true. There was even a part where Cam Cameron talked about grief, and he talked about like how it comes at random times. It's like that feeling in a box where one day it's fine and then a random thing will like remind you and just wreck you. Like it's that type of shit.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I loved those conversations. And I realized that those were the only points of the show that I was really invested. I did not fucking care at all about the romance in this show. And I feel like the reason I didn't care was because I do not like Belly. Like you said, she inserts herself in
Mm.
a lot of things and blames herself on a lot of things that people end up telling her, like, you know what, Belly, it's not your fault. It's not, like, no, it is her fault.
It
Like,
is her fault.
you don't
Yeah.
have to. I don't know why everyone in this show acts like Belly is someone who needs to be protected too. Like, she's not
Mhm.
incapable. She just sucks. Like, I don't see why we have to keep protecting her. So I
Yeah.
fucking hate that shit. I hate that Belly's put on like this weird pedestal in the family. I don't like Laurel. I know that you said you do, but the fact that like Susanna had this weird like, well, not weird. She had like a motherly relationship with Belly, but it doesn't look like that exists with Laurel and the boys. It feels so shitty.
Mhm.
Like, I fucking hate I
Oh, I never
hate
even
that she
thought
didn't
about
even
that.
bring up like, let's go to the beach house. Like, that was never brought up over the summer, even though that was something they did. Like, as soon as
Mhm.
Susanna died, this whole family fell apart. And Belly trying to fix it honestly made
Yeah.
it worse. Like,
Mhm.
their
Well, I just want
relationship.
to.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I just say that I didn't love Laurel's character in this season. I preferred her in the first season
Okay, I
because of
agree.
her relationship with Susanna, but she was like really annoying me in this season.
I hate too that the relationship of all these characters being dependent on them having a house sucks. Like, I understand that they wanted
Yeah.
to keep it for like memories, but nothing got better. These people just don't know how to talk
Mhm.
to each other. Like, it seems like even
Yeah.
during having a house, Jeremiah and Conrad's like brotherly relationship is weird. It's not healthy. And they should
Mhm.
both realize, and it's weird that they haven't realized that, like, maybe if they just let Belly like whoever she wanted and not date her, maybe things wouldn't be as shitty. That's like the root
Mhm.
of all of
Yeah.
these problems. And I fucking hate it. They never come to this realization. They always like are fighting for her. They're not letting her go. And it makes me so angry. And the fact that you brought up that could be spoiler, that's worse. Like these characters aren't redeemable to me. And the thing that like made me realize that I didn't like the show after it ended was when she ended up picking Jeremiah at the end of this season. I didn't give a fuck because I don't want to watch a show about teenage romance. I don't care about that shit.
Mm.
Belly acts like this is her whole life. This is really like the do or die moment of her life. She's fucking 17. Like, I don't give a fuck. It sucks
Well,
that they lost.
we have watched teenage romance. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, yes.
I
we
think it's just because this one just wasn't. I don't want to say written well. I just feel like it wasn't portrayed well.
It probably was written better because from what I do know about the book, I know that it puts it in different perspectives so you can actually understand what other characters are thinking. And I get that we've read teenage romance. I'm not gonna like completely destroy all of teenage romance, but this made me really hate it. I was just like, I don't fucking care. I don't care about these teenagers who for some reason can all just drive cars because isn't it illegal for a teenager to drive another teenager before they get their license at 18? Like, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, yeah, I think it is, but
But they
who
also
cares?
drank.
Let's
so,
not
yeah.
focus on that.
No, dude, it just like
It
there's
doesn't even matter.
the fact that they're all over here acting like full ass adults using their parents' money. I'm like, don't even. I fucking hate this shit. I don't know. It seems very like, I don't know. It just bugs me. It seems like problems that shouldn't, like first world problems, I guess. Like I don't care about the beach house. You should really do what your mom would want and not ruin the relationship between both families. Like the beach house doesn't matter at this point. And apparently it doesn't matter to them because they threw that fucking party. That's such a bad idea.
I know, literally. We never brought up the fact that Susanna didn't really give a fuck that she kind of encouraged Conrad and Belly to be together, and then Jeremiah was over here like really sad about it, and she was like, "Oh my god, Jeremiah, you're sad. Oh my god, sorry."
You still like her?
Wait, you like her? Ew.
Go cry about it. Yeah, dude, she wasn't a great mom. I don't know. The way that she viewed Belly was weird because it was when she went up to Belly and was like, "I'm just so happy that you're with one of my boys." I was like, that's...
Yeah.
It seems like you viewed her as an object because you're like, you're my best friend's kid, and it would be so cute if my best friend's kid ended up with my kid. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally weird. I mean, I wouldn't feel
no,
the
yeah,
exact
I
same
wouldn't.
way or anything.
No, yeah, because when my first son was born and your first daughter is born, I was like, no, obviously, yeah, no. I get it.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what gender they are. I don't.
Oh
care.
yeah, no, I don't care either. But it's like it's like, what if I name my first kid Jeremiah? I don't know. It's weird though, you know.
My first daughter is Isabel. That's not weird or anything.
Yeah, just don't make it weird.
We're not trying to prophesize anything. Wait, they don't end up together. Wait, hold on. Wait, let's rethink that, okay? We'll come back to that.
I did not like this show. I don't know. It was so disappointing. I don't even want to watch the next season at all. Much less now that you told me that shit.
Dude, you know what? I heard that it's renewed for 4 seasons.
Why would you say that?
So why would there be 4 seasons? They're gonna pull a Hunger Games and cut the next book in half.
Well, you haven't met our secret third brother.
Oh my god, imagine. And she like loves him instantly.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the thing I hate about it the most too is because you know where I work, right? Everyone's talking about this shit. Everyone is talking about this shit.
Oh, okay.
And no one is talking about the parts that I liked. Everyone is just like, oh my gosh, Team Jeremiah, Conrad's ugly. Or like vice versa. And I'm like, really? That's all the shit you got out of this show? That's it? Like,
yeah. I mean, samesies. I'm just kidding.
I know. Of course, I love Jeremiah. He was my first kid.
Too.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, oh, God. I can't exist right now in this realm.
Have you seen Paul Wesley's Instagram story? You know the one where he's the guy from Vampire Diaries, and sometimes he'll just answer questions. Yeah. And somebody asked, "Are you Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah?" And he was like from the Bible.
I love that shit.
Yeah, from the Bible.
Valid. Love that.
Yeah.
What would you rate this?
So, do you have a team? Like, are you on a team at all?
I just want
feel
her
like
to.
We're not.
I want her to go to therapy. Like,
team single.
I know. She needs to not focus on being in a relationship. The fact that Taylor's advice to her after losing like basically a family member and losing Conrad in a very short amount of time was go out there and like go kiss a guy. I fucking hate
that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's really bad advice. Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't think that if she can't handle herself, why is she trying to be in a relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So
it's just, I don't know. Well,
what's your rating? What's your rating?
Oh, my rating. Oh, I forgot about that. My rating is a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I can't give it a 0, so I'll give it a 1.
I give it a 1. Yeah, no. I mean, I won't lie. I mean, there were some parts that were enjoyable, like sure, but overall, I was like, damn,
Same.
why am I watching this?
Same. Dude, I binged it. I liked watching it, and then I got to the end, and I was like, wow, that sucked.
This was the worst, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I hated it. Ugh, what was I gonna say? Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm left speechless, dude.
We just got to sit here for another hour.
That was the worst shit I've ever seen. If we end up watching season 3, just know that I'm gonna complain the whole time.
No, I mean me too, though. Imagine we love it. We're both like fans. Like,
yeah,
you know everything I said in the last episode. Forget that.
Oh my gosh. I think, could we end this?
Yes, let's end it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It feels so weird. Thank you for watching our episode. We totally tore this apart when I thought you were going to enjoy this. I don't know why I thought that.
Wow.
I thought we were going to disagree.
And I thought we were best friends.
Dude, we always disagree.
That's true. We do.
So
not always. Whoa, not always.
True. But you know what? I'm surprised for everyone who's stuck around, whoever's listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you. That really means a lot. This was a rough one.
Yeah, literally.
I do recommend, though, if you are listening to us in audio form, if you can please leave a rating of 5 stars. That would be amazing. It helps us get recommended more to people. And also, if you want to help with that, the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. So if you can tell your friends about us, that'd be amazing. Tell them we tore apart this show. If you have extra money, what's another way they can support us, Yahaira?
So we did make a Patreon, and as of right now, it's really just a way for our listeners to let us know that you really enjoy what we're doing. So you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
Love it. If you are watching us on YouTube, hello. I know we're doing in-person videos again, and this one's not. It's been crazy. But if you are watching us, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram at The Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. That's also the same for Threads. And we have a TikTok at The Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX. Thank you so much for sitting through this one.
Oh, damn.
And we will see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
We gotta go, though.
I know.
Bye.
My God.
Oh, my God, dude.
I start sobbing.
This is a therapy session right now.
Dude, it's fucking late. I like how... Wait, be honest. Are you going to stay up after this or are you going to sleep?
I need to pass out, dude. I need to.
You know, I have so much shit to do, but I feel the same way.
I also have stuff to do too, but I'm like, should I just like wake up early tomorrow?
That's what I'm thinking, but I know myself, I'm not gonna wake up early.
Oh my God, twins? Me neither.
What do we do?
What do we do? Stay up?
Fine, okay, I have my jammies on. I guess it's a sleepover.
Sleeper. All right, down.
Okay.